My name is Levi Mensch, and this is my presentation for Intro to Usability Engineering. So this is for my prototype app that my group and I built. So a little bit about our usability issue. So users struggle with complex expense input and categorization, leading to frustration and errors. So my group is looking into students who are struggling with budgeting and managing their finances. And through our research and interviews, we learned that this is a very common issue that happens on our own campus, Oregon State University. And the people I personally interviewed, both of them used Excel to manage their finances. And this is something that they both, one of them learned from his parents and the other one learned in a class. But this is not common curriculum taught to everybody. More on that later. Anyway, so the target demographic is 18 and 25-year-old college students from diverse educational and geographical backgrounds. Common challenges include a limited financial understanding and a balance between academic and personal life. So our goal, aim to simplify the process of logging and organizing expenses to improve usability for students. We're going to do this on focusing through a user-friendly interface for those busy scheduled and varied economic situations. So as I mentioned, both the people I interviewed used Excel, and this is a very complex software that isn't necessarily tailored towards finance. However, it is very common use for finance, but it takes a lot of skills outside of just managing your finance, such as navigating the software, using specific formulas and whatnot. So our goal is to help students who never had that help from maybe their parents or in school class that tell them how to manage their finances. Those students as well, but we're assuming that the students don't know too much about finance. And so with that, we're trying to enhance financial literacy and decision-making among students with limited budgeting experience. All right, so Nielsen 10 usability heuristics. These are going to be talked about a lot throughout the project. So Jacob Nielsen 10 general principles for interactive design. They're called heuristics because they are broad rules of thumb and not specific usability guidelines. And here you can see the list. And these, as it mentions in the description, these are just broad rules that you can use when you're designing an app and refining an app. And my group used these constantly throughout our project, from reading about them at the start of the course, into building the wireframes for the app, refining the wireframes, and then building the first prototype, and then from there refining the prototype and working with students through Think Aloud studies. Again, we refined through that means as well. All right. And then these are the features we're going to take a look at today: financial overview, goals, spending, accounts, transfer, help/documentation page. So these are all the features that are currently implemented within the prototype. All right. So now let's take a look. Again, here are the features on the left and the budget manager on the right. So this is the first page you're going to see when you open the app, and immediately you're greeted with system general overview. So account name, your balance, and then all the different categories you can click on. And then here's a look at the first prototype we ever had. Here you can see the financial overview, payments, goals, and again, it's very minimalistic. And this is the app I used when I did my personal Think Aloud study. And after conducting that study with this app, I interviewed him and I asked him what features could be improved in the app. And he said that he'd like to be greeted with more information, right? And he would like to be able to see maybe his available bank account and other information when he opens the app, right? And this could come up in a lot of situations, such as maybe he's going out to lunch and he needs to check his bank account to see if he has the money. And again, so it was refined to this just to continue with a minimalistic design, but still provide enough information to the user. All right, let's start with the financial overview. All right, so here you go. We have a breakdown. We have a pie chart at the top, and then we have a further breakdown showing specific percentages in which each category is. And again, this implements largely usability heuristic number 3, user control and freedom. And we can see this through viewing, by week, by the days, and all time. And again, these different categories are chosen by the user. We'll touch on that later again, which further implements the user control and freedom. And again, we remain a consistent design, which is aesthetic and minimal, touching on other heuristics. So this feature was again implemented in the first prototype. And here's a look at it. Again, we see that there's no real user control, right? I can't see if this is, the time span. Is this of all time, 1 week, 1 month? Is it just a day, right? I have no clue. And again, the finance breakdown, we just see, so simple as housing. We don't know if this is housing for a mortgage, housing for rent, utilities. We come back over to the current one. Under the housing, we can see this is for rent and utilities. So we know specifically what is within the main category. We have specific subcategories, further breaking down the money and allowing for user control and freedom. All right, let's go ahead and check out the next display. So this is going to be the goals page right here. All right. So as we mentioned, one of the goals of our app is to help with financial literacy, and this is implemented to the goals page, right? So we are greeted with these goals that the user created. Spend $100 less on groceries this month, and spend maximum of $15 on takeout this week. All right. Now let's go back to the prototype and take a look at the greeted page. Again, here we go, right? We have set goal, we have view goals. So already you had to jump through another hurdle just to view your goals. And then when you do get to view your goals, you see the menu is a lot less aesthetic and doesn't really have the same consistency as the other pages within the app. All right, and then we can open up the set goal page, and we'll get to this on the other one. So here we can add a new goal. We have my goal, the start, end date, the goal amount, and the goal category. Again, touching on the categories, these are set by the user and pertain to the specific category, right? And then here to help with usability heuristic number 5, we have the ability to submit and we have the ability to cancel. And again, this also touched on usability heuristic 4, which is consistency and standards. You always want the user to be able to cancel an action or save the action, and that's implemented right here. Let's go ahead and check back at the other app. So here we have no real clear way to not save the goal. We can maybe press the back button, but that isn't clear, right? We only have this big submit button. And again, we only have the finish date, we don't have the start date, and we don't have the category, right? So it's a lot less fleshed out and a lot more confusing to the user. It's not necessarily clear, which again touches on flexibility, aesthetics, a lot of different aspects of the app is touched on through that, or of the usability heuristics, sorry. All right, let's go ahead and return to the main menu. And so next we'll look at the spending page. All right, let's go again, bring up the heuristics. And first of all, we can see that it's categorized by the day. Again, this helps with kind of visibility system status, right? We can see what day we're looking at in receding order as we scroll down. And again, this is very aesthetic and is minimal design, right? We have these little icons. We have the green and the red to denote if it's coming in or if it's going out. And we have a plus sign and a minus sign to also denote if it's coming in or if it's going out, which again helps cater to a wider audience, such as individuals with color blindness. And so this is largely going to touch on usability heuristic 6, right? The green and the red help to denote that is recognition. When you think of green, one thinks of money coming in. When you think of red, one thinks of money coming out. And again, we have recognition further implemented through these symbols we have right here. Utensils to represent food, a little gas pump to represent gas. And then here we have a transfer of money represented with 2 little arrows. So let's go ahead and go back to the main menu on the first prototype. Let's go ahead and look at the payments page. All right, here we go. We can see we still have the red and we have the green, but there's no plus sign or minus sign to denote for users who aren't familiar with that system. And overall, it's just a lot less aesthetic. It's harder to read. This red writing, might be a little, hard for individuals to read. It doesn't really denote the specific thing as much, and we don't have any symbols to recommend for them to quickly glance at it and perform recognition. All right. So the next one we're going to look at, I'm going to go back, is going to be transfer. Or sorry, it's going to be accounts, my bad. All right. Okay, great. So again, the first thing we can touch on here is the consistency in the standards. We saw a very similar menu within the set goals page, right? It had a similar layout. I'll go ahead and show it. It's pretty much the same layout, except again, we're denoting that this is accounts versus setting goals. And so kind of the users are going to be able to be familiar with both of these menus, and having experience with the set goals page is going to allow them also to have experience with setting their accounts. So here we can look at the specific menu. We can set the bank, the account number, routing number, account notes, and then again we can update with a specific bank. And again, touching on error prevention, we have the submit and the cancel button. Let's go and cancel that. And again, we can edit them or we can add new ones. And the menu for both is very similar, right? Just for the edit one, it's going to be already filled in. All right, so now that we've touched on the accounts, let's go ahead and check on transfer. All right, so here we go. This app is gonna, this feature of the app is gonna allow you to transfer money between other users. And again, here you can see that with the transfer to contact, a little scroll through menu showing all your available contacts. And again, we'll see the current funds up here. We have the ability to add funds and we have the ability to transfer funds, again, which contain their own menus with, again, the cancel and confirm, touching on heuristic number 5. Transfer to account, again, touching on heuristic number 5. And through here, we can also have the option to port people over from your phone contacts, which is, again, going to help with error prevention, right? Maybe trying to send money to your mom. Well, you can easily add your mom here. And again, it also touches on usability heuristic number 7, efficiency of use, right? You don't want to manually add it. It's going to automatically import it here for you. Let's go in and head back to this menu. All right. And again, this transfer history is again touching on usability heuristic number 4. We see a very similar one to the spending page. You can even glance on it and it's pretty much identical, except this is specific for just the transact history. All right. So the last page we're going to talk about today is the help/documentation page. And then this one can be seen in the bottom right with this question mark, which is again going to touch on usability heuristic number 6, recognition rather than recall. A lot of users are going to recognize this question mark symbol as being the help page, as that is consistent among many other platforms. All right. So here at the top, we can see frequently asked questions. We can go ahead and click on that, and we can see all these questions that have been asked, and a lot of these are actually taken from specific interviews where users during the Think Aloud studies were asking, how do I create a goal? How do I link a bank? And with my own interview after Think Aloud study, and we were getting to the question portion, he mentioned the issue of the privacy policy. If he was going to sign up for an app like this, he was worried about how their data was going to be used. And so that just kind of goes to show where these come from. With further implementation, you'd be able to click on each of these menus and it would show you further breakdown, right? So for how do I create and edit goals, it would show you the visual process of going through this. And we can return to the help section. And again, here we can see contact information and we can see a feedback. Again, just because this is a prototype, these sections are not implemented. So this is going to largely relate to usability heuristic number 10, obviously, help and documentation. But through this is going to trickle down to other usability heuristics. We can see this with error prevention, right? They don't know how to set a goal. Here you go. Here's how you set a goal. If you have feedback to give, here you can give the feedback. And then it's also going to help with the number 9 a little bit, obviously, because we're, again, further breaking down how to use the app. So overall, that was the app we developed throughout the course of the term. I hope you enjoy this presentation.